Welcome to Treadmill Review Guru. Today we are reviewing the NordicTrack X32i. This is our top treadmill. We've rated it our top machine for several reasons. It has some really exciting features and tech. So first of all, you've got a whopping 32-inch touchscreen. You get up here, this is all you see. It brings iFit straight into your home for engaging workout content. You've also got your SLED grip bar, horizontal push bar, new on the 2019 model, a cushioned deck underneath, and the key feature on this incline trainer is this deck will pivot up 40% so that you get a really steep workout. It also will drop down to a -6% decline, so you got some gentle conditioning, you can do some downhill work, strengthen the knees and quads. Lots of really exciting features on the X32i. To start, we're going to look at the construction of the X32i. So you've got a solid reinforced steel frame here that goes underneath the deck. You've got cross beams to really support the stability of the deck. Also, one really nice thing is you've got these leveling feet back here. You just gently adjust them. So if you've got one side of the floor that's maybe lower or higher than another, when you set this down, you can adjust those leveling feet so you can really hold the machine down without any rocking. One nice thing that I like about the X32i is it's got these vertical curved cross beams, which I think is really nice. On your higher end machines, you'll see the cross beams are curved and it just kind of sets the console back a little bit, so you've got a little more track length that you can use underfoot. The other thing that I like on this machine is that it's got the motor in the back. So I pointed out earlier, you don't have a hood cover up here at the top. The reason is because the motor is actually down here. And so the weight is down here so that the top of that deck can pivot all the way up, hit that 40% grade, and you're not anchoring that motor all the way up. The X32i has a 4.25 horsepower motor. It's continuous horsepower, so it can incline, decline, and adjust for speed seamlessly, regardless of where you are or what you're doing. One thing I really like about it is the motor is relatively quiet. For as much as it has to lift that weight, it really runs seamlessly. So I'm going to, this is flat right here. This is a 0% grade. I'm going to drop it down to a -6. So this is your motor noise. You can kind of hear it in the background. There's a little bit of a noise, but it's really not bad. It's very smooth, and you'll see that as the deck descends, it's really nice and gradual. There's no jerkiness to it. So that's your 6% decline. That's what it looks like. Make sure there's no toys, pets, anything important underneath the treadmill as it drops down, because that front end will get really close to the ground. So I'm going to take it back up to 0. This is what it sounds inclining. Not bad. Really kind of a smooth noise. So we'll set it at 0 in just a second. I'm going to incline it all the way up to 40% so that you can see that max grade and also hear how that motor runs as it pivots the deck. One thing you do want to be aware of is when the deck inclines, it's going to lift you up quite a bit. I'm 5'5", so I'm going to start this and I'm going to let it run for just a minute, and then I'm going to stand up on the top of the deck so you can kind of see how high I get. So here we are, this is 40% incline. So you can see how high that deck lifts at the fullest incline. It's also nice, if you look down underneath, you can see those cross beams that run underneath the deck. You can also see the lifting arm that's positioned about mid-deck underneath that really pivots that deck up. And back here, you've got your 4.25 horsepower motor. So here I am, this is at full incline. So I'm gonna set my speed really slow, just 1 mile an hour. And you can kind of see how much bounce I get as I move up here at the top of the deck. So a little bit of bounce. If I were to increase that speed, let's do 5 miles an hour. We'll see how long I can hold this. You got a little bit of bounce, but it's not bad. Let's slow it back down. So one thing to be aware of is the height up here at the top. It's going to take you up close to the top of that ceiling. We've got another treadmill reviewer here in the office who is 6'6". 8-foot ceiling gave him just enough clearance, 9 foot totally fine. So you should be good as long as you've got 8 or 9 foot clearance on your ceilings. So we're going to let this drop back down, take it down to a 0% incline. I'm going to show you how to do the sled push feature. One thing to know is you cannot do the sled push feature when you're inclined. It can damage the deck. You also have to have it at 1 mile an hour. So don't hit stop and then try to push the treadmill. You can hurt the belt and the rollers and the motor. So you want 0% incline, 1 mile an hour. You can hold on to that horizontal grip bar and really push right here. I am doing most of the work with my feet. Also got upper body engagement, keeping those arms nice and tight. We're gonna come up here, sled push, same thing, just a little more vertical. Still moving that belt with my feet. So that's your sled push feature. Just make sure anytime you use it, you're not inclined, not declined, and you got your treadmill working at 1 mile an hour. The footprint of the X32i is 77 inches in length. It's 40 inches wide, and up here at the top, it's 73 inches high. The one thing I like about the 32i is that even though it is a nice size machine and you really have got some nice cushion under the deck, your step up height is only about 14 inches. So it's really pretty easy to get on and off, which is nice for anyone who may have mobility issues or doesn't want to climb up on top of a machine. Getting on and off the X32i is really pretty easy. I also love the handrails. They extend a little farther out, so you've got a nice grip as you're getting up and on and off the machine. You've also got 30 inches in span between your handrails right here. So nice width. The total length of your running platform is 65 inches long, which is about 5 inches longer than most other treadmills. So you've got 5 inches more length, and you've got 22 inches in width, which is about 2 inches wider than standard. So nice, good length on your running platform. The texture of this running belt I really like. So one thing that I've noticed is you can have all the bells and whistles on a treadmill, but what it really comes down to is how does it feel when you're on it. And I like the texture on this belt because it just has enough grip to hold your foot so you don't slide. It's hard for me to slide my feet, but at the same time, it doesn't grip and hold my foot as I'm moving along. Nice, easy feel underfoot. Another thing that I like about the 32i is you've got some really nice wide side rails right here. They're gently curved in, so it's an easy step off to get off that running belt and step on the side. You've got nice traction down here, so it just kind of holds your foot steady there. You can stand here as you're inclining, declining, catching your breath, getting on and off the machine. These side rails are really nice. So the X32i does not fold up. This is not a folding treadmill, but you can move it. It's got a steel grip bar here at the base. You pivot that base up, and wheels here at the front make it so that you can move your machine as needed. It is heavy, like I mentioned, about 400 pounds, so make sure that you're able to lift and move it, but you can move it around. I also contacted NordicTrack to ask them whether or not you can run this treadmill on a second or a third floor. They said yes, the weight is not an issue. It should work just fine on any floor if you're in an apartment or anything else. So really solid build on this machine. This is a sturdy, well-built treadmill. So the next thing we're going to cover is what we regard as functionality. A lot of times there's all these really cool components on exercise equipment, but it comes right down to what does it do and what difference does it make? So a really good question is, why do you need a 40% incline? That's really steep. Most of us aren't walking up and down the hills of San Francisco every day. So what a 40% incline does, I've only got it about halfway up. This is at about 20. So we're about halfway up that max grade. is as you begin to work, as we walk and run and cycle and do a lot of our cardio exercises, we're working in the sagittal plane, which means all motion is forward. So we can often deal with what's called quad dominance, where those quads get really strong and overdeveloped from all that forward motion. As you increase the grade, it engages those glutes and hamstrings more, so that you have the option to strengthen that posterior chain and really develop balanced leg musculature. So we're not just working with the quads all the time. So that's one really nice thing about an incline. Another thing that's nice about incline, as you'll notice before, I only ran at 5 miles an hour for like 20 seconds and I was out of breath for 2 minutes. It really increases that heart rate so you can get a high intensity workout and still stay low impact. So even if you're just a walker, if I'm walking up here and I'm gonna start, once again, I'm at the 20% incline, so I'm only halfway, and I'm just walking at 1 mile an hour, this still moves my heart rate up. Just moving it up to 2 miles an hour, I'm working pretty hard just to hold that angle. So you can get a really nice workout and still stay low impact. The other thing that a lot of variables in incline do is you can then combine incline and speed. You've got a 12 mile per hour max speed on here, which is great for HIIT workouts, Tabatas, fartleks, any type of interval training that you're running. You've got lots of speed options. The other thing that's cool is when you drop down to that -6% decline, anybody who's ever done trail running or even marathon running knows we train for the uphill, we get beat up on the downhill. That downhill really takes some conditioning. We think it's easy, but there's a lot of impact as you work downhill. So here I am, there we go, there's the 6%. Now just like that incline tips me up, the 6% tips me forward. So I have to stay engaged so I don't lose my balance. So downhill training is a really important component in overall fitness. We can't just work the hills and think that that's going to be enough. Just like we can't run downhill all the time and think that we're going to be ready for a hill climb. So the 40% incline, -6% decline, 12 mile an hour speed, lots of training options, lots of variables to combine. Just really gives you a lot of options for well-rounded overall fitness. One nice thing about running on a treadmill is that you have cushioning in the deck. So even your low-end treadmills offer a better running surface than outside on asphalt or concrete. I'm gonna run for just a minute, and I want you to take a look at how much flex there is in that deck underneath as I run for just a second. All right, this is at 6 miles an hour. I'm gonna increase that incline to a 6. Okay, so this is about a 10 mile an hour pace. Got a little bit of an incline. Heart rate's starting to kick up a little bit, but take a look at that deck. It really has some nice give underfoot, but I've still got a really good foot position, plenty of forward kick length, plenty of kick back behind. So there you go. You can just kind of get an idea for how that sounds as I run on it, what the incline is, how much give there is in the deck at different levels of incline, and how quiet that motor is as it resets. Also very stable. Never ever feel like I'm going to lose my balance when that motor is moving the deck up or down. It's always very nice. We're going to review the console layout on the X32i. So as you can see, the central feature is this incredible 32-inch touchscreen. It's got really good resolution, crisp graphics, and it really kind of brings the outdoor running routes, the training sessions, the classes right into your home. So they're front and center. You'll notice on the left, you have your incline buttons. -6 on the bottom, spanning all the way up to 40 on the top. On the right, you have your speed preset controls right here. So that makes it really easy when you're running intervals to just jump really quickly between speeds, or to move between inclines. Down here, you've got a manual incline adjustment and also a manual speed adjustment. So those will take it up by 0.5. So you can increase incrementally if you need smaller increases. Your start and stop buttons are central on the bottom part of the console. Right here, you've got a fan. I'm gonna turn it on so you can hear it. So one thing I really like about the way that NordicTrack does their fans is that they give you different options. So this fan has 4 settings. You can increase by hitting the large fan button or decrease by hitting the small fan button. We've got it on low, so there's medium. 3 times takes it to high. So I've got a nice breeze here. It's gonna blow my hair, I can really feel it, the positioning is good. If I take it to the 4th, it's gonna shut it down because it's on auto. So right now I'm not doing anything, so it's gonna turn the fans off. But the auto feature correlates to whatever you're doing. So if you're working hard and you've set it to auto, that fan's gonna kick up. When you drop your speed and move into active recovery, the fan will drop back down a little bit. So the fan in the console is really nice. You got 2 fans positioned right here at the middle. Speakers on either side will broadcast your iFit workouts. So if I pull this up, and let's go ahead and start it, we're gonna hear him talk.
I'm your iFit trainer, Nikki Hollander, and welcome to the
It's got good sound.
city of Inverness. We are going to go on the River Ness run. I'm going to take on a nice steady state run.
I can kick it all the way up or take it down to where I need it. The other thing, let me show you right here. You've got music, trainer, and volume. So anytime I make any adjustment, I can adjust the music volume, the trainer volume, or the overall volume. So let's say I want the music low because I don't need to hear their music, but I want to hear the trainer full on. So I turn my trainer volume all the way up, and then I can adjust the overall volume right here. And that music won't get in my way. So really nice variability on the volume, and the speakers produce good sound. They're right in front, so they're easy to hear. You also do have Bluetooth capacity so that you can upload your music and play your music through the speakers if you want to listen to your music while you watch an iFit workout. So that's nice too. The other thing that's great about iFit, and we'll go into more detail in another review, but iFit has over 16,000 workouts. You've got outdoor guided runs by personal trainers. That's this one, it says running. You've got walking. Here she's in Kauai. You can browse the workout library. This right here says studio. So this is a class workout. So it's gonna bring up a video of a trainer leading a class all on treadmills. This is our trainer. She's really easy to see right here. She's on the same machine. So her incline and decline is the same. She's gonna give us prompts and tell us what we're gonna do. A couple nice things, if we wanna go over here, it will show us our speed and incline, what we're gonna do throughout the workout. Over here, this is where we control music. So you can kind of get a graph of what the whole workout entails. If you've been working a hill for a few minutes and you wonder when it's gonna drop, you can click over here and it'll tell you, oh, right here we're flatlining, we're gonna pick it up in just a minute. So I can toggle through, if I don't want time elapsed, I can do time remaining. I can do pace if I wanna set a pace and hold it. It'll also give you your average pace. You also have the option of calories burned per minute or per hour. You can adjust the incline or look at vertical gain or vertical loss. So you got a lot of options here with your metric display. You can, if you want to, so I come in here, I can keep the screen with workout controls, or I can go to full screen and it will take away that bar. So then I've got a nice big screen I can see really clearly. The other thing that's really nice about iFit is directly integrated with the treadmill. So you'll notice right now, this is going at 3 miles an hour. That's what the trainer wants me to do. As she increases the speed, my treadmill is going to follow and actually increase to the same speed she says she wants us working. So here we go. She's gonna tell us. There, my speed just jumped, okay? So she's telling us we're gonna pick up that incline, we're gonna pick up the speed, we're working a little bit. Now let's say you wanna override that speed, it's either too fast or too slow. You can always just manually adjust it over here and it'll pick it up. Down here you get a little follow trainer icon, and that shows up to tell you that now you've overridden the automation So whenever you want to reset it, I just hit follow trainer, and now I'm back to whatever she tells me to do. So both speed and incline are correlated with the iFit workouts, which is really, really cool. Let's stop, go out. The other thing that's nice is when you're doing an outdoor workout, the treadmill will lift and lower depending on the actual terrain. So if you're doing hills, you don't have to manually go in and adjust that hill every time the trainer says, okay, add 5. It just automatically does it. So the integration is really nice. It makes it so you can run hands-free, you can just focus on what's going on, and you're not distracted trying to manage all the variables as you go along. The other thing it'll give you right here is your weekly stats, what you've done, how far you've gone, calories burned, elevation gain, things like that. If I go over here, oh, it's bringing me the workout library. This is gonna bring up all the classes and routes, and they'll be organized. So here we've got most popular. So Boston Marathon Point Part 1, she actually runs the first part of the Boston Marathon, that's this. Tells you about how many calories you can expect to burn, how long it's gonna take, and you've got user reviews there at the top. So you've got most popular, and then you've got different training series that they're kind of promoting. You've got the Balkans, Scottish Highlands, lots of different options. One other nice thing about the screen is that this is a really large screen, and so it will pivot gently up and down so that you can avoid overhead glare as much as possible and just kind of bring it to what works best for your visibility. As you tip it back, it creates a lip right here that is plenty wide to hold pretty much any phone or tablet. So even as I'm running, I got plenty of width there, that phone's not gonna fall off. It does have 2 water bottle holders, and if there were any drawback to the magnificent X32i, it would be that the water bottle holders are back behind the screen. So if you're a taller person, this might not bother you. For me, I have to reach around the screen to get my water bottle. Not my favorite design, but it is nice to have them. You got your water bottles right there, they're within easy reach. You just kind of have to reach around that screen a little bit. In summary, the NordicTrack X32i is our best treadmill for 2019. It offers the best combination of features. You've got an amazing 32-inch screen, cushioning in the deck, lots of incline and decline training variables, the option of a high intensity, low impact workout, heart rate training. It is an exceptional machine. Check the link below for current pricing. And also look us up on treadmillreviewguru.com to read our in-depth review of the NordicTrack X32i.